Hey guys, so welcome back. I'm really excited about today's video because on today's video, as you can see from my topic, I'm going to talk about how I got into the PhD program as an international student with full tuition fee. So I'm just going to get right into it. And just to give you guys a background on how it all started and how I then ended up doing my PhD in the US as an international student. So while I was pursuing my undergraduate degree in civil engineering back in Kenya at Kenyatta University, so we had these faculty members from my current university, Iowa State University, visit KU then. And then while they were visiting us, they were to give us a crash course on material science and engineering for about 2 weeks. So I was selected among 50 students. So if I can remember very well, we were about 50 students who were selected to attend this crash course. So, and just to mention that material science for me then was really foreign because this was the first time I was encountering material science, like from the actual material properties and the microscopic level. Because being a civil engineering, we are so used to working with bulky materials, so we are used already working with finished goods. But actually in material science, this is where you learn more about what materials is all about. So, and just also to mention, during that time I had attended an internship in road construction, and I was heavily involved in materials, like in mixing of materials, just learning about materials and how you attain the consistency of these materials for use in the field. So at that time, I was starting to gain a lot of interest in material science. So when we had these faculty members visit from Iowa State University and give us a crash course on materials, I was interested. I was eager to learn more because already it was at the back of my mind that and even though I did not understand much and being this excited, I was just really active during the course. And as a result, then even after the course was done and these faculty members were back, students to come visit the US and just learn more about material science, learn more on research. And this visit was for about 2 weeks. And guess what? So I luckily got into the program. So I was selected among the 4 students to visit the US. So we happened to visit the US for about 2 weeks. And during these 2 weeks, we shadowed graduate students and just to learn more about their work, to learn more about what the PhD program is all about. And so once we visited the US, then fortunately I had my GRE paid for, and I did a video on what is GRE. And from the video, one of the things that I talked about was the cost. So the cost of the GRE is about $205. So for me, that was a lot of money. I did not have that kind of money with me. So when I fortunately had my exam paid for, that was an incentive enough. That was enough to encourage me to apply into the program. So when I went back to then I went ahead and did my application. So I applied into the PhD program in January of 2017. So it was almost the deadline. And at this time, I hadn't done my GRE. So I sent in my application having not done my GRE. So I had my GRE scores pending. And then once I sent in the application, and also to mention that there was an application fee, which the cost for this application was about $100. And also just to also say that I did not have that $100 with me. So I had to lend it from my... So it was a loan for me, so I used that as a loan to apply into the program. So once I did my application, then a month later I did my GRE, and then I sent in my scores. So my scores were sent directly from the center where I did my GRE, which was Computer Pride back in Kenya, in Nairobi. So my GRE scores were sent in. And also to mention is that for my application, I applied into the PhD and not masters. And that's because we had been encouraged to apply in for the PhD and not for masters. And because the likelihood of us being selected for PhD was higher than if we applied for masters, because most professors do not want to invest in a student if they are only coming to do masters, because masters is a short-term program. It's only about 2 years, unlike PhD, which is long-term. So they want you to come here for a long time period, that's about 5 years, so that they can train you and then have you on your feet so that you can begin doing your research independently. So I did apply I applied for PhD instead of for masters. And so I sent in my application in January, as I mentioned, and then I waited 6 months later after sending my application. At this point I was like, oh, okay, I'm not sure whether I'm really getting to this program. But during this time, as I was waiting to hear from the program, I kept emailing the university. So I would email the university just to inquire from them at what level my application was at. And they were really kind enough, because each time I emailed, they responded to my email and just to let me know the level at which my application was at. Because when you send in your application, it goes through different stages, because before you hear from the university whether you've been accepted into the program or you have not been accepted into the program. So I waited, and so I heard from the university 6 months later, and that was in June. And during this time I was still doing my undergraduate program. So I was in my final year of my undergraduate program. So I was really excited to know that I had been accepted into the program with full scholarship and full tuition fee, which meant a full tuition fee and a stipend. So you're given a small stipend which you can live on, and you're okay. So you're able to live on that stipend without having to work outside or having to work anywhere else, because again, you're not allowed, with a student visa, you're not allowed to work outside the university except your schoolwork and your research work. And so that's exactly what happened, and that was my experience with my application process. And yeah, so hopefully this information was useful, and I hope it can encourage you to apply for your PhD if higher education is an area of interest for you. And if you liked the content of this video, please like, share, and subscribe. And let me know if you have any questions that you want me to answer on this specific topic. Thank you. Bye.